Hey everyone, welcome back to Ontario Gardening. We are going to do a super quick garden tour, garden update, see where we're at in July, starting with, we do have apples this year. Super exciting. So hopefully those come to fruition and we do see them. I haven't really taken a look at this garden in the last couple days because it's been raining super heavily and I haven't been out, so let's go see what's up. Anything that you see, I'm going to see for the first time as well. And our strawberries, we have had a couple rounds of strawberries. They're doing very well this year in this tower planter. I wasn't sure how they would do, but I'm loving them, and I'm going to try and see if I can overwinter them this year so that we can use the same plants next year. Moving along, we've got our carrots. I did thin them. I'm wondering if I should thin them again because they are in quite an abundance. Radishes next door. So since my last video, I had totally harvested all of those radishes, fermented them, and now I'm on to a second crop. Our crops are alive and well. Asparagus. These stupid June bugs. I'm gonna have to come over. They've just, or not June bugs, sorry, Japanese beetles. They have started on us the last few days. I do not have very much success interplanting in the middle. Let's see if I can come on this side, might be easier. So I had interplanted green onions in between and they're just not really doing well. There's a lot of weed pressure. I'm going to do them on their own in a separate pot. Moving next door, I've got peppers and the peppers are doing well. We're seeing flowers. If I take a step back, you can see some varieties are a lot higher than the other, but otherwise they're doing really well. Onions, doing amazing. Couldn't ask for better onions. I can see that. We've got peas. So our peas, I have kind of made a square in my trellising here. I don't know if you can see them, but I've got these little garden cages and I've made a square to kind of hold my peas in. These are the sugar peas. My first time growing these, not having to do shelling peas. Those are super annoying to try and shell all of them. Next door, I have, just taking a step back here so we can get a full view. But next door, I have here cantaloupe. And they're doing exactly what I hoped they would do. Finally, I had a bamboo stick on the back and I had a leftover piece of hog panel, so I just kind of got it on an angle here and it's growing up perfectly. We've got lots of blooms showing you from the side here. As you can see, it's on an angle. I don't remember if my last garden tour I had this lemon tree or not. I'm gonna have to move him because the cucumbers next door are becoming crazy. But in this pot here, I've got a lemon tree. And if I come a little bit closer and focus in there, there is tiny little lemons. So that's super exciting. I've always wanted a lemon tree and I finally got one this year. I have got some rosemary just chilling in here. Wait for a separate video. I'm going to go through about 10 different ways that you can use rosemary, not only in your culinary efforts, but I've got like a facial cleanser to talk to you about and all that kind of good stuff. So stay tuned for that. So we have been talking about starting inside versus starting outside. So direct sow versus obviously planting indoors. So we have in the back here, we have got our indoor start. And as you can see, coming in here, we have cucumbers started just over there. So we are at that stage for cucumbers, starting this plant inside. In front of it here, we've got a smaller little plant, and that one was direct sowed. So from a side angle here, I'm not really sure if you can tell the difference. The big plant versus the smaller plant. So that one was started about 2 weeks earlier inside than this one was direct sowed outside. So that just kind of gives you a little bit of an idea. I've got some lettuce over here, just kind of growing in a container. And in behind that I have Dino Kale that's trying to root itself actually into the ground through this container. So I've got some Dino Kale. We're going to harvest some of that. Now coming next door here on this trellis that we've made, I have honey nut squash is starting to finally grow up it. And honey nut squash is a smaller, sweeter, more individual sized butternut squash. So I'm the only one that really eats it. So I got a smaller, more condensed. They're just a smaller fruit. It's more, like I said, like a single serve type situation. So I've got some flowers on that. Coming in down here, as you can see. That's exciting. That's the first time I'm seeing those. So we've got those started. And in the back, on the back side, we have, as you can see through there, he is an acorn squash, I believe. So that's what we've got growing on trellising on the other side. I wanted to make sure to utilize both sides. The other side was supposed to be loofah. Unfortunately, my loofah died trying to transfer it out. So I went to a nursery and quickly grabbed what I could to put on the other side. Okay, moving over here, my tomatoes. They're all trellised at the back this year, and they are just taking right off. They're doing very well. I've got 4 different varieties. Brandywine, Paul Robeson, Black Crims over here, and then in the middle I've got the Super Sweet 100. So that is a cherry tomato. And in front of it is all of our beans. The beans have totally taken off. They're actually like drowning out the marigolds. There is another rosemary popping through there, so we're gonna have to get some of that harvested. But yeah, that's doing amazing. And I'll show you. As you can see, I did see these the other day, but I haven't really been updated. We have cherry tomatoes already started. I know I have, if I can find him in here. Oh, there he is. I've got a Paul Robeson just getting ready to go. Super exciting. I can just taste the cucumber and tomato sandwiches. Okay, these. This is chaos. So I used this long bed and I did 2 patty pans, 2 different types of patty pans, 2 yellow zucchinis and 2 black beauty green zucchinis. The leaves on these things, and I don't think it's really conveying on camera, but like here's my hand for example, are humongous. This is like the size of a car tire. Like, it's insanity. But we do have, I haven't seen anything on the patty pan, but look, zucchini. And so for most people, that's a good point to pull. Most people would pull them even that size back there. I let them get a little bit bigger because I shred all mine or dice it up. I don't necessarily use them for fresh eating in the summer. That's a strictly, zucchini for me is strictly preserving. With the exception of the patty pan, those get grilled. Those are fresh eating, but these ones here are for breads, soups, pastas, meatballs. I use it as a meat alternative for stuff, so that's why I let them get a little bit bigger. Most gardeners would not. Calendula. My pollinator garden is mostly calendula this year. I did that on purpose. I've been harvesting the heads. This is probably the 3rd round where I'm going to come out actually later today and harvest the heads because we are using them. They have so many benefits for the skin, and we're going to be using them to make different topical ointments. It works similar to like a polysporin. So we're going to continue drying them out. What I've been doing, they're a beautiful flower, and what I'm going to do is we snip them, and we've been drying them, and yeah, they're eventually, once the season's over, I will take all those dried heads. We will show you in a separate video how to make an oil. So going to the side of the shed here, we have these ground cherries, Aunt Molly's ground cherries. I have yet to come out because they're not quite ready. They're getting there. And make like a net to catch them in, because when they are done, they fall to the ground in their little paper lanterns and you open them and the fruit's inside. So I really don't want them hitting the ground. I have dogs, earwigs. I don't really want them hitting the ground, so I need to make something. But this is what they look like. Sorry, focusing on the camera here. So yeah, as you can see, like they're in these little paper lanterns, and like I said, they'll fall to the ground and that's when they're ready to harvest. And then we've got over here 2 pickling cucumbers. So I wanted to experiment with a pickling cucumber. 2 plants really isn't going to be a lot. I'll probably have enough to make a 1 liter jar, which is not a pint, a quart jar. I'm just going to make like a quick fridge pickle with these, just because there's not going to be enough to do an entire batch of obviously canning. But that's super exciting. No flowers on them yet, but I can see that they're starting to come. Now my little herb wall that was by the pool, we'll get to that in a second, but it's not going well. So we just added a board here on the side of the shed for this year until next year when we redo the shed. And I have got some herbs in here. So I've got some oregano, some parsley, mint, thyme, sage, chives, and on the end there is a pineapple mint. So I'm going to use these for different things. Stay tuned for that. But let's go over to the herb wall. On our way there, I will show you the stuff beside the pool that we added is doing well. These dahlias that I got this year are so pretty. They're a very, very pretty color. It's like a yellow mixed with a peach. I wasn't sure what they were gonna be because I got them in a seed trade and they didn't have any specifics on them. But I also have some zinnias here. So I've got a few zinnias around the pool as well this year. So super excited with those, but let's go over to that herb wall. Okay, so this herb wall, kind of fail, kind of not, but mostly fail. And it has nothing to do with sun or watering because there was growth, but then I had something come and eat it all. So I'm going to assume like the butterflies or the moths came, ate off all the tops of my dill, ate off the tops of my parsley. They are chewing away at my lettuces. The only thing they haven't really touched is the lemon balm and up here the cilantro. So yeah, I don't really know what to say about this. I'm gonna harvest what I can, obviously. Otherwise, it was a fail in the sense of something that is eating it. Otherwise, I feel like I would be doing great because like the cilantro and everything is doing well. The sage down there is doing well. It's just something keeps coming along and eating it all. So note to self, reconfigure next year. Maybe we need some netting. I don't really know. But anyways, that is our garden at this point in our garden here. Southern Ontario Zone 5B. Join us in the next 4 weeks and we will see where we're at. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.